guys, welcome back to the channel where I cover missing persons, unsolved cases, crime news, and more. Got a bit of updates on the Flora Fires case.
Nearly 7 years after the deadly fire that killed 4 young girls in Flora, a U.S. District Court has ordered the home to be demolished. Today's order stated there was no continued need to preserve the property and no one objected to it. The 2016 fire is being investigated as an arson. To this day, though, no official suspect has been named.
So that horrific fire that took the lives of Kiera, Karel, KP, and Kenya is going to be demolished. The order itself was filed on August 16th. They stated that the parties involved confirmed that there was no need for the continued preservation of the property at 103 East Columbia Street in Flora, Indiana. And as it said in the piece, it went on to say the parties nor the court had any objection to the razing or of the damaged property. As we know, this has been the house that's been in the spotlight of the investigation into the fire that killed the 4 girls 3 months before the Delphi case. This happened in November 2016, and the fire was eventually classified as an arson. Now, I did go back and pull up the interview that Fox 59 did with Superintendent Carter back on May 23rd. Show you guys here, and I will link to this in the information of the video. The title of the article is Indiana State Police, Mother Gaylin Rose is not a suspect in deadly Flora fire investigation. Now, Steve Brown is the interviewer for this. He states, is Gaylin Rose considered a suspect in this case? Carter, no. We asked because there has been a persistent rumors in the Flora case that Gaylin Rose, the mother of the 4 girls killed in the fire, had a hand in starting it. Yeah, there have been lots of rumors of that, as he's stating. And again, I never believed that she had anything to do with killing her babies. Carter's empathetic answer was the first time his law enforcement agency has disclosed whether a person was or was not a suspect. Now, Carter did express frustration over Rose's lack of availability to speak with state police investigators. Fox 59 CBS 4 can confirm that the first time Rose sat down with investigators was 3 weeks after the fire. That is quite a long time. Rose had been hospitalized with smoke inhalation, but it is typical in investigations that key witnesses are interviewed multiple times. Based on her recollection, Rose said it's likely been years since she's had a conversation with state police. Makes you wonder, though. Yes, she left the state within a year, but why wasn't she interviewed multiple times? Good question, huh? A point raised in previous Flora stories came up during the interview with Carter. Fox 59, CBS 4, and other news outlets have noted comparisons between the fire investigation and the probe of the Delphi murders. The killings of Abby Williams, 13, and Libby German, 14, came just 3 months after the Flora fire claimed the lives of Kenya Davis, 11, Kiera Phillips, 9, Carrielle McDonald, 7, and Keone Welch, 5. Yeah, these 6 have always been grouped together in some fashion. But while state police released video and audio evidence in the Delphi case to encourage the public to come forward with information, similar disclosures have not been made in the Flora investigation. Carter was asked about the different approaches. Carter, if we had the information to release, the analogy that they're the same and that it was something perpetrated by your story is simply inaccurate. That's not true. That's not true. The only thing relevant that's similar to Delphi and Flora is that they're in the same county, connecting an arson with very little information to a homicide that's developed over 80,000 tips. It's an unfair analogy and unfair comparison between the two. I sort of agree with you, Carter, but not completely. Granted, it's in the same county, Carroll County, But something tells me, just something, it's always giving me like this deep itch. I don't even know if I want to call it itch, but something's telling me deep down there is just something else there. And I don't know. Something else is there to me, in my opinion. Brown. But people up there see them as similar. They're horrible events resulting in deaths of young girls. They see them as similar. Carter. We can't make things happen. We can't make people talk to us. I acknowledge the criticism and I'll take that criticism, but I know these detectives up there, I know what we know as an agency that I'm not going to talk about. And the notion that we can just make someone talk to us, connect the dots to hold someone accountable, I think it is unfair for us. I think that it's unfair. Criticize, yes, but we will do this the correct way. Carter maintains the Flora investigation is active. I think he's suspicious of it in a way. That particular answer there kind of tells me that they've thought about it. ISP's thought about it, and they're not completely convinced there's not connections either. Now, they're going to deny it until they can prove it, but I think there's something there. Now, they get into some interesting information here. There's some photos that I hadn't previously seen till I saw this particular article. The scene of the fire remains boarded up. Of course, now we know that it's going to be demolished shortly. The 2-story home split into a pair of apartments had not been occupied since the night of the fire. And Mike Vergan has been inside. He's the investigator, and they're going to explain that right here. A former ATF fire investigator now runs his own private fire investigations firm. Attorneys for Rose hired him to investigate the cause of the fire as part of a wrongful death lawsuit against the building's owners. Fox 59 obtained a copy of his report. He was inside the home 3 times in the 6 months following the fire. He provided photos of the fire damage, which can be seen below. Now, here are some photos. Like I said, I hadn't seen these, so I'm going to kind of go through these real quick here, but give everybody some time to look at them. This is outside the home. I wonder if this is the kitchen. Wow. Now that may be Rose's bedroom. Wow. Now this is definitely the kitchen here, which is where I believe the fire did start, in the kitchen. There's more of the kitchen. Now this is the girls' room. And it was upstairs, and I know he's got photos of the stairs. I mean, that fire just ate away that home. Okay. Now that would be the stairs on the left here that would lead to the girls. Gaylin Rose's room, her bedroom was downstairs. The girls were upstairs. The officers who arrived, the first responders on the scene, as well as the fire department, which I previously discussed on the channel. I'm not so sure that they were there on the scene as quickly as they should have been, but then again, in Carroll County, they're all volunteer firefighters. They had issues getting into this home and going to, I believe it was on the left-hand side, and getting up those stairs to reach the girls. Gaylin was yelling out to them how to get to the girls. It's just so horrific just to think The 4 lives, those 4 innocent lives were lost because someone or some people set this home on fire. Oh, there we go. None of the smoke detectors had batteries in them. None of those smoke detectors worked. If a smoke detector has no battery and doesn't work, well, it's pretty worthless, you know? We're back in the... Looks like this may be the washer dryer. There's another view from the stairs. Another one. And again, those girls were up those stairs. All right, back at the beginning. Among the things Vergen was looking for were smoke detectors. We found one, he said. It was on the 2nd level of the residence on the landing, and there was no battery in it. It was open, but there was no battery. The condition that this was in, there would have been a battery still in if a battery had been present. Basically, that smoke detector was worthless to do a darn thing for this family and the other resident. Indiana state law states the owner or property manager is responsible for making sure rental housing units have a functioning smoke detector. So it was Josh Ayers' job and his team, okay, his Birch Holdings and what have you. We've gone through the Ayers and all that, and I will link to my playlist on Flora because I'll be covering much more Flora in the future. They had a responsibility to take care of this. They didn't do it. Vergen said to make sure there weren't other smoke detectors in the house, he raked through fire debris piled in the side and backyards to be sure. None were found. None. One smoke detector, 2nd floor, no battery. There was extra attention to the kitchen and the connecting back porch. This is where the fire damage was the heaviest. An examination of the appliances suggested the fire was not caused by an electrical malfunction. Remember, that's the first thing that they all said, that it was electrical malfunction. It was not caused by an electrical malfunction. No way. Maybe the most vital information in Vergen's investigation came from a witness. Adam Ayers, a next-door neighbor, recognized the last name, rushed into the house the night of the fire. This was before police or fire arrived. Ayers explained he was trying to reach the stairway leading to the bedroom where all 4 girls slept. Smoke drove him back inside. But before exiting the house, Ayers told investigators he saw a 2-inch wide path of flame that led from the back porch to the kitchen. He got a pretty good view and described it in detail. That is big. That's important. Ayers was also the only person who saw the ribbon of fire. The visible flame and burn patterns found in that area were convincing to Vergen. We came to our determination that it was a set fire. Vergen said he's 100% confident in his assessment, and he will also be a potential witness in the upcoming wrongful death case. I don't think he's a potential witness. I think he is going to be a witness. And that trial, the civil lawsuit, is either going to begin at the end of this year or early 2024. So, again, it doesn't seem like there's a lot that's been happening in this investigation. But I think a lot more is going to come out. I think this lawsuit is going to be big. It's going to blow a lot more things open. I look forward to that. And my heart goes out to Rose, Gaylin Rose, during this whole entire ordeal. She's She lost everything. She lost everything that night. These 4 girls were the most precious thing in her world, and she lost them. They deserve answers on what happened that night. Who or whom set this fire? And if anything else was involved in this arson, was it to cover something else up? And I also hope that they're going to demolish this home before the civil trial. If nothing else, for Rose's sake, because I know it's painful for her, and I think it's time for it to go. Let me know what you guys think of this case. Again, it's been a little quiet, but never forgotten. Again, these 4 sweethearts, they're going to get their justice. They are. Abby and Libby are getting theirs soon, and these 4 are going to be getting theirs as well. I fully believe that. Alright guys, I hope you have a great rest of the day. And most of all, stay safe.